friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about this brand new palette from Urban Decay. This is the Stoned Vibes palette. Urban Decay sent this palette over to me for review, so I don't have any of the other products in this little Stoned Vibes collection. I know there are highlighters and glosses. I've also seen some sneak peeks of a mini palette that looks really cute. I do like their mini palettes a lot, and I do think that's a really good idea for this palette in particular. This is currently available in the US on the Urban Decay website. It's also currently available from Ulta, and it will be coming to Sephora and the other retailers that carry Urban Decay in the US, like Nordstrom, Macy's, QVC, etc. on September 20th. There's a whole list of the release dates for the Stoned Vibes palette and presumably the whole collection for tons of countries around the world. I'm not going to read out that list for you, but I will put it in the description box. So if you live outside of the US, check down in the description box and there's probably already a release date announced for this palette for your country. This is priced at $54 US. I feel like that's really expensive. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat. 54 feels like a lot. And that's me talking. You guys know I have dropped some cash on some palettes. I am going to show you both finger and brush swatches. I'm also going to show you a quick little eye look with this palette. First, I just want to go over some of the details. This is a heavy duty plastic outer packaging. This does have a locking clasp closure. This is not a magnetic closure. When we look at the front of this palette, I really like this aesthetic. I think this is super pretty. I love the texture here. Usually I do not like these bulky textured packagings, but the way this is done is still pretty streamlined. I do see this fitting nicely into a drawer. I love the effect it has. This is just, man, I really like this packaging overall. It fits the theme. It's fun. It's different. Really, really, really A+ on the packaging. Also, the box is really cool too. This isn't textured, but we still get all the shifting colors. When we open up here, there is a nice big mirror inside. We do have a brush included in this palette, very typical of Urban Decay palettes. This is their double-ended brush. There's a flat eyeshadow brush and then a fluffier, larger brush for blending on the other side. We have 12 eyeshadow shades laid out here with the shade names inside next to the pans. And we kind of have 4 matte shades. This deepest purpley brown shade down here is actually more of a satin shade. It performs a lot like a matte, but this really is a satin. So it's really 3 mattes, a satin, and then the rest are these very, very pretty shimmers. These do look quite different in the pan compared to what they look like applied to the skin. You'll be able to see that in the swatches. When I first saw pictures of this palette, I was a little bit nervous because I thought that these were going to be pressed glitters, and I'm not a fan of pressed glitters. But these are not pressed glitters, these are shimmery shades. They're very similar to the shimmers in the HUDA New Nude palette. If you've seen that, then you know what I mean. These very marbled looking shimmers. They look very chunky in the pan, but they have a really smooth shimmer texture. There are no eye safety warnings anywhere on this palette or on the outer carton, the box that it comes in. So as far as I can tell, all these shades are completely eye safe. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the swatches of this palette. I will show you both finger and brush swatches of all 12 shades. The swatches are done on the inside of my arm with no primer down first, just the shadow straight onto my skin. The finger swatches will be pictured on top, and then each corresponding brush swatch will be below. As always, for my brush swatches, I'll be using my e.l.f. flat eyeshadow brush, and I'll clean the brush off in between each shade using my Viramona color switch. That way there's no shadow transfer between swatches. So let's take a look at those swatches now. First, we're taking a look at the top row of this palette. These are definitely the softer, lighter colors, and I think these look a lot different swatched than they do in the pan. They look a lot deeper and a lot richer and more jewel toned in the pan. And you will see that the second half of the palette here is definitely the deeper, richer, more jewel tone shades. And I think these swatches look more like you would expect from the pan versus the top row of this palette, but the brush swatches here are pretty darn impressive in my opinion. Now that you've seen all of those shades swatched, let's take a look at this quick little tutorial. I'll show you how I got the eye look I'm wearing today, of course using the Stoned Vibes palette, and then I'll wrap up all my thoughts at the end. First, I'm going to prime my lids using my favorite eye base. It's the MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. Then I just set that base using this matte shade called Good Karma so that we have a nice smooth surface to blend on top of. For my crease shade, I'm first building up this really light peachy color called Antidote. I'm just layering that up into the crease and blending sort of upwards and then down a little bit onto the lid, but we are going to really start to deepen up that lid soon. I did also add a little bit of Antidote to the lower lash line. Next, I'm going in with the shade HEXED on a small fluffy brush. This is a nice warm kind of orangey brown, and I'm really layering that up on the outer part of the eye and blending that up into the crease as well. Then I just did a little bit of additional blending with no product. And now we're going to go in with our first shimmer shade. I'm using Bloodstone. First, I'm wiping that onto the lid, just using my finger. And then I'm going to go back in with a brush and really pack that shade on so that we can activate that shifting duochrome effect. Next, I'm using Vibes and just taking a little bit of that on my pinky finger and just gently dabbing it on the inner corner. Then I decided to go back in with HEXED because this is a simpler look. I wanted to make sure that that sort of smoky drama stayed put on my lid. Lastly, I curled my lashes and added my Huda Beauty Legit Lashes mascara. That's my final look. I love the way this turned out. It's super duper simple, but these sparkly shimmer shadows are so dynamic that they really add that extra layer to the lid. So I'm definitely happy with how this turned out. I like this palette, but I don't love it as much as I want to love it. I think that I love the idea of this more than I love the actual finished product. I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that because I realize that's kind of a confusing statement. I think you could tell from the swatches that these shimmery shades, they're not super opaque shimmers. They're sort of floating in the land between a true topper shade and a regular shimmer shadow. So for that reason, I would have liked to see a couple more matte shades added in here that were colorful. That way you could achieve a more impactful color from some of these shimmer shades. I like the jewel tones in here. I think that it fits the theme. I think it's a really pretty color scheme for fall, and I think that it's going to be flattering on a lot of people. People with a lot of different styles, a lot of different skin tones, a lot of different aesthetics are going to be able to work with this jewel tone color palette and really make it their own. But I think to make the most of these colors, a couple more colorful mattes or even like these satiny shades really would have rounded out this idea of these jewel tones. It really would have enhanced this formula, which is new for Urban Decay, and I like to see that. But in my opinion, this palette would have benefited in both color scheme and performance from an olive green matte, a sapphire blue matte, sort of a mid-tone amethyst purple matte. Those type of shades could have taken this color scheme and this idea of this formula to the next level. In my opinion, it's almost there. The idea is there. I just think there's a couple of components missing. I'm surprised that that's the case from Urban Decay, that they really did choose to just include these very basic neutral matte shades. I know everybody's going to say they always do that, but I thought that this release was a good chance for Urban Decay to get back to those more like edgy roots that they have. And just a couple of colorful mattes, I'm not even saying like rainbow primary color mattes, just some rich jewel tone mattes could have completely elevated this entire palette. Now, I absolutely have those types of shades. I can see myself pulling some jewel tone matte singles out of my collection, mixing in here and getting some really beautiful, rich, interesting looks from this palette. But for $54, I feel like that should have already, you know, it should already be in there. $54 is a lot of money, especially when we have these 3 shades that I feel are way too similar to be taking up so much space in this palette. Opal Aura, Vibes, and Raw Energy. I just don't think we need all 3 of these. Let's keep one of these and replace the other 2 with some gorgeous jewel tone matte shadows. That's just my opinion. Even if they had kept it really basic and done like a purple and a red matte, still would be better. I'm just feeling very torn because I love the packaging. I love the idea of this. The performance was great. I think my look was not only super easy to achieve, but I think it looks really pretty. Everything applied and blended out really easily. I'm really impressed by these shimmery shades applying so well with a dry brush. All the swatches you saw were dry brush swatches, and they looked great. I was expecting a really sheer kind of whisper of a sparkle when I was swatching those, and I was pleasantly surprised. I do think the formula is cool. That's why I said I thought that this palette was a good idea to do a mini. Just some of these shades are a little repetitive. You know, I want to love it. I want to. I don't hate it, but especially for the price, I do feel like they missed the mark just a little bit. I'm still going to use it. I'm still going to enjoy it, but it's always just going to leave me wanting a little bit more. Did you see my swatch picture though on Instagram? I know. It looks so pretty. I want to be in love with it. Now's the time when I want to hear what you think about this palette. Have you tried it? Is it on your wish list? I always love to hear what you guys think about things too, so make sure you leave all your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! What are they? I might as well know what I'm talking about. Let's try that again, because none of it made sense. Crushing it. Everybody feel free to just fight in the comments about whether it's rainbow or hollow or iridescent. Who cares? It's pretty colors. We can all agree on that. Love that. Love that for me. Wow, okay. I'm good now. Don't worry. That's really what I like to see. I like to see it. We know. Okay. Nobody cares. What are you even talking about? I don't know. Here we are. Just doing the thing. Oh, I never did a close-up of my eye look. Got distracted, as usual. Whoop, wrong direction. Okay. I don't know what I'm talking about. Help. Wow, that escalated quickly. I want to be obsessed with it, and I'm just not. Sorry, Urban Decay. Actually, why am I apologizing to you? Oh, I'm the most awkward person in the world. Help. Help. Aw. I have so many things that I want to film. I have so many ideas, and I just don't have all the time in the world to make them. And I feel the same way about my Etsy shop. I have so many cute design ideas, and I just genuinely don't have the ability to execute everything. Oh, this video is going to go up on Monday. Last day of the sale on my Etsy shop. Make sure you go check it out. Stickers and pins, 20% off for Labor Day. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go edit this video now so that you can watch it. And I just really super love your face, and I hope you have a great day. Okay, bye.